Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris. It's your boy Chris. It's another amazing episode of Financipation. This channel is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth, and it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. So today, guys, I'm going to talk about something that's kind of came out of the blue, and it's in regards to President Biden essentially forgiving roughly $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan debt. Honestly, to be real with you, I didn't really put much whatever into this because I ain't got no dog in this fight. For what it's worth, if you were not familiar with this channel, I essentially went to undergrad and got my engineering degree for free because I got a full academic scholarship. When I went to grad school, however, the company that I was working for at the time told me that they would reimburse me a certain percentage of up to what I got. And at the time, people were telling everybody that if you got an MBA, because I got my master's degree in business administration with a focus in management and in finance, you would essentially have a $40,000 pay raise waiting for you. I never got the pay raise, and my company did not reimburse me one penny for my MBA. So I got kind of screwed a little bit. More importantly, though, I'm actually happy that I got the MBA because for the first time in my life, it taught me finance. And more importantly, it taught me how money actually works to the point where I decided to start this YouTube channel. So I turned essentially lemons into lemonade, but it taught me how money works. And I'm very happy that I got my MBA. The problem was I ended up spending roughly, when you factor in interest rates, inflation, things of that nature, I probably spent over 120. I probably spent around $120,000 to get my degree. So I paid for it. I'm actually going to make a separate video as far as how I paid off my student loans and things of that nature. And to make a quick story about it, I essentially lived in the hood. I had roommates. I heard gunshots at night, and I drank and I lived off of tuna fish and Kool-Aid. But it's a good thing I paid off my student loan debt, and I have literally been student loan debt free for almost 7 years now. So I ain't got no dog in this fight. I didn't really care whether President Biden forgave student loan debt or whatever. I'm happy. I will say this though, full disclosure, I am very happy that the federal government is helping out our college students, and I'm glad that they finally have shown an interest as far as helping out the next generation of Americans. So I'm very happy about that. And to President Biden, kudos. I mean, in 24 months, this guy has created over 12 million jobs since the insurrection riots on January 21st. He's created over 12 million jobs. He passed a historic Clean Water Act. He made Juneteenth a federal holiday. He passed a historic anti-lynching bill into law. He passed the CHIPS Act, which will create millions of jobs here in the United States, and it's going to bring billions of dollars to the U.S. economy. He passed the historic Inflation Reduction Act, obviously, and President Biden just also passed and used an executive order to pass the Student Loan Forgiveness Act. So for President Biden, it's another promise kept. Up to this point, Biden has forgiven roughly $26 billion in student loan debt, and with this current Student Loan Forgiveness Act, which he just passed, via executive order, which gives roughly $10,000 to $20,000 per borrower. President Biden has forgiven roughly $190 billion of student loan debt in 2 years. People have their own opinions about it. To me, that's a good thing. And I personally don't understand how people can have issues with it. In my opinion, it's helping people. It's helping the next generation of young professionals. So I think it's a good thing for the economy. The government, for the most part, already has a lot of our info. So based off of what I'm reading so far, the funds that a lot of people are going to get, whether it's $10,000 or $20,000, are going to be automatically applied to many people's accounts. For others, there's paperwork they're going to have to fill out. And from what I'm being told and from what I'm reading, there's forms you're going to have to apply for. And because most of my subscribers probably will benefit from this $10,000 or $20,000 student loan forgiveness act, when that documentation comes out, when the forms you have to fill out come out, I'm actually going to film a separate video walking you all through essentially how to do that. So yeah, like I said, people, I ain't got no dog in this fight, but I have been thoroughly amazed and kind of saddened actually about all the YouTubers and people of that nature who have built entire platforms, literally built entire platforms trashing President Biden, saying he would never ever forgive $10,000 of student loan debt. It's kind of sad to me, to be honest with you. There's this very popular dude out in Tennessee. He's ran an entire podcast and an entire discussions pretty much on how President Biden will literally never forgive student loan debt and how the government doesn't help him with anything. But if you do a very quick Google search, this same guy and his corporation got over $14 million via the PPP loan through the federal government. So on one hand, you claim the government doesn't help you, but on another hand, you're taking out $14 million of the government money. It's interesting. There's this other guy who has two fathers. He spent the last year and a half going all over cable news networks saying that the federal government would never ever forgive student loans and things of that nature. And it's really interesting because now that President Biden has actually forgiven student loan debt, and he has actually basically passed over $190 billion of student loan forgiveness, I hear literally nothing but crickets from these people and from these cable news outlets. So it's really interesting. And I think honestly, it's pretty sad that men who have been getting millions of dollars in tax cuts for decades are now enraged that a 25-year-old biology major who makes about $55,000 a year is about to get $20,000 per student loans forgiven. I honestly, people don't get it. More importantly, keep it moving. So who gets the money? Based off of what they're saying right now, single people who make less than $125,000 as an individual are guaranteed to get $10,000 of their student loan debt forgiven. They are also saying that married people who make less than $250,000 as a household are also going to have $10,000 of their student loans forgiven. And they're also saying that people who get Pell Grant while they were in college, they're going to get an additional $10,000 of student loan debt. So when you factor those two factors in, if you make less than $125,000 and you receive the Pell Grant, as a possibility you could get $20,000 of your student loans forgiven. And if you only meet one of those criteria, you'll get roughly $10,000 of your student loans forgiven. So I'd imagine that for most of my listeners, you're most likely going to qualify for something. Some of the other rules they're talking about are capping the amount of loans that a student is qualified to get, and additionally working for certain types of jobs. Instead of having your student loans forgiven in 20 years, you would have your student loans forgiven in 10 years. So there's a couple of different things they're talking about. I personally think the entire the U.S. college system needs to be completely gutted, if you were to ask me. Once again, I have other videos I'll talk about the importance of getting degrees in science, technology, engineering, math, healthcare, law, or finance. I honestly don't understand how you can allow a person who's 17 years old to have access to $200,000 or $300,000 worth of student loan debt, essentially a house mortgage, and there's no oversight committee saying, okay, why are you going to get $300,000 of debt to get a useless college major? Why are you going to this out-of-state school pretty much to go into all this debt for a degree that's only going to pay you $35,000 or $40,000 a year? So I think the entire college system needs to be overturned. It needs to be changed a little bit. And that's a kind of conversation for a separate day. But as I said earlier, I do think it's a good thing that the federal government, that President Biden stepped in, and they're going to forgive roughly $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan debts. Currently, right now, $1.6 trillion of student loan debt is circulating throughout the United States of America. That's more than house mortgages. That's more than any other form of debt currently in the United States. And studies are also showing that roughly 8 to 9 million borrowers are going to be receiving assistance through this program. But here's like the problem. There are over 30 million people who have student loan debts. So this is a proverbial drop in the bucket. It's a good drop in the bucket, but it's a good drop in the bucket. So let's say that you and your husband were both on Pell Grants, and let's say that you and your family, or you and your wife, were both on Pell Grants when you were in college, and let's say your household income is less than $250,000, and let's say that you and your wife collectively have roughly $100,000 of student loan debt. That means, based on those two factors, the Pell Grant situation and the fact you make less than $250,000 as a combined household income, your family would essentially have only $60,000 of student loan debt, because President Biden would have forgiven roughly $40,000 of student loan debt. So people, what I'm saying is this: you need to take full advantage of this once in a generation opportunity. Once again, I didn't have this. When I was paying off my student loans, I legit had roommates. I lived in the hood. I heard gunshots, drank Kool-Aid, and I ate tuna fish, just proverbially. So I lived extremely frugally for years or whatever. I actually got laughed at in a couple of spots I was at to pay off my student loan debts, but it was cool and it worked. So that's what I had to do. So people, you need to take full advantage of this opportunity. You basically need to figure out a way to pay off your student loans. You need to have a plan. And I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart when I say this. Women, don't get that, do not basically get that boob or that butt job. Pay off your student loans. Women, basically, when it comes down to your finances and everything, maybe you should consider not getting all those weaves. Maybe you should consider not getting those red bottoms. Don't buy that new Gucci bag. You need to be focused, ladies, on paying off your student loan debts. To my fellas, to all my men that are out here, don't go buy another car. Don't go buy more Jordans. If you get a car, get a used car. Don't get that brand new Audi. Basically, you need to figure out ways to pay off your student loans as quickly as possible. Don't take a lot of women on expensive vacations or whatever. Just take it to the beach. Figure out ways, more or less, to pay off your student loans as fast as possible. Men and women, you need to take complete advantage of this government help. take complete advantage pretty much of this hookup that President Biden has given you, because once again, not every generation is going to get this. Yep. So with that, guys, I'll say this in closing. At the time I'm recording this, it has been roughly 3 years since the interest rates on your student loans have been frozen. That means in 3 years, your interest rates did not grow at all. And on top of that, to cap it all off, President Biden just gave you roughly a $20,000 hookup and a $20,000 package to pay off your student loan debt. That means once you come out of this situation in January, because in January 2023, they're going to start raising the interest rates again, you need to have paid off. You should have paid off literally tens of thousands of dollars of student loan debt. Why? Because you haven't been paying interest on them in 3 years. And on top of that, you also just got a hookup from the federal government. I will have literally no sympathy for a person who walks out of this situation, and if instead of paying off their loans and paying off a significant chunk of that money, they go out there and start buying more Jordans or buying more heels or whatever, or they start buying more purses or more cars. You need to be self-reliant, everyone, and you have to basically use this advantage once again from the federal government. So that guys, once again, it's your boy Chris. This channel is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth, and it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. So that is your boy Chris. Please follow me at @thereal_financipation on IG. My Facebook channel, you can follow me there as well, Financipation. And check out the next couple of videos, everybody. It's your boy Chris. I'm out. Peace.